Tell me, are you a vegan?
Are you folks familiar with the raw food vegan movement?
Or are you a scumbag meat eater?
I have taken a picture of every steak I've ever eaten.
But what I should really ask you is, are you in a diet cult? Because when you look at the trends in the nutrition world over the past few decades, then you can see that there's this rise of different types of dogmatic diet cults that are specifically directed towards excluding certain food groups and also bastardizing other people who aren't following their same ideologies.
Being vegan just makes you better than most people.
These things are very engraved into our primal DNA and physiology. Humans are social creatures, and we like to live in social groups and create dominant hierarchies with them. The same applies to diets as well, and different types of exercise regimes. Okay, you're this CrossFit guy, you're a bodybuilder, you're a fitness guy, you're a marathon runner, whatever it is. With all of those comes certain types of ways of thinking, ways of looking at the world, and ways of behaving. When you take a moment to think about it, then all of them, they're not coming from your own ideas. They're coming from these types of dogmas and doctrines of those diet cults that you become a part of, whatever they may be. Like, I'm not going to be pointing any direct fingers, but there are different types of diets: keto, paleo, veganism, fruitarianism, whatever it is, or even the standard American diet. They're all different types of cults, basically. And you, as a conscious person, you would also always want to make sure that you don't fall into the trap of these different types of charismatic leaders who, they're gonna sell you these ideas about, okay, this type of living is the best way to do it, and you have to go vegan or you're gonna die, or you're basically a loser. Or the same applies to you. You're gonna have to exclude all carbs, or basically you're gonna like a weak ass bitch, and you're also gonna get diabetes, whatever it is.
Diabetes.
You as a conscious human being have to always remember that these are not your ideas. These are some sort of dogmas and doctrines that are imposed upon you by other people, and specifically you have to be careful to not want to belong to a diet cult or a group just because you want to fit in there. And what's the danger of this is that there are many stories about people who simply go on a diet and they stay on the diet, they stay in the diet cult just because they want to maintain consistency and congruency with that group. They basically stay in the group because all of their friends are now in the group, and also they don't want to look like a quitter.
Stop it!
This is also very dangerous when these different diets and nutrition plans, they become more than just nutrition plans, and they start to impose ideologies onto the person as well. And the plant-based group is a very good example of that. Basically, if you eat meat, then you're supposed to be like a piece of shit, basically, because you're gonna damage the planet, you're gonna damage animals, and they put they bring in morals and ethical issues into the mix, whereas in reality it's completely out of it's completely irrelevant to the health and well-being of the person who is doing the diet. There's a difference between eating something for health and eating something for ethical reasons or economical reasons. And there's a tendency, or there's the potential danger to start damaging your health.
Babies need fat, proteins, calories. Less important, sprouts and hemp.
And Carl Jung has an amazing quote. It goes like, people don't have ideas, ideas have people. And the same applies to political ideas. Like, most people during the Second World War, they weren't communists or they weren't fascists. They were indoctrinated into those movements just because of some sort of a totalitarian regime taking over them, and also they're having charismatic leaders who changed their minds. Basically, Hitler and Stalin, they had power, and with that power they also they change the mindset of their people by, you know, creating certain motivations, creating certain narratives of us versus them, us versus, you know, the enemy. That's another very common theme amongst the human dominance hierarchies. You know, there's always us, the good guys, the good guys, the ethical guys who are doing the right thing, and then there's the opposite enemy, the piece of garbage, you know, the meat eaters, the plant-based movements, whatever it is, the fascists, the Nazis, whoever they may be.
Come back.
And also the same applies to keto. Like, you know, don't say that I'm just, you know, biased towards keto or something. You know, I don't associate myself as a keto person or something. I eat a keto diet because it makes me feel good, and I've seen great health improvements because of that. But at the same time, I'm also aware of the fact that it's not gonna be working for everyone. It's not gonna be working for me all the time either. Like, you always have to base what you eat around this concept of optimal nutrition. What's good for me in the particular moment, and what do I need right now? Because chances are, it may not be a good idea to stay keto year round. You may have to be cycling in and out of it to a certain extent occasionally to bring, you know, to also disrupt the microbiome in your gut, and to change your metabolic profile a little bit. So, you know, the same applies to, you know, carnivore. You may experience a short-term boost and benefit by going all meat, but at the same time you have to think of it whether or not it's sustainable long-term, and whether or not you should do it. You know, you don't want to become again an ideologist, and you don't want to fall into the prey of these charismatic leaders selling you some sort of a diet and selling you some sort of a personal development program or whatever it is. And all of those things, they can be found. These same patterns are everywhere in your life, like in business, in politics, in diets, in fitness, in meditation groups, mindfulness groups. Like, all of them have, you know, cults in them. And, you know, not all of them are cults, and not all of them are, you know, doctrines, but at the same time you have to remember that you shouldn't associate yourself, you shouldn't associate your personality and your identity with those groups, because your self-identity as a person is basically one of the most valuable things and most precious things for you, because it literally lays the foundation to everything you are and everything you do in the world.
You suck.
Science says that as long as you eat whatever it fits your macros, then it doesn't matter for your health and whatever it is. You know, that's a false way of looking at it. You have to always be try to be as objective as you can, and to constantly challenge everything around you. Challenge your own beliefs. Challenge the way. Why did you go? Why did you pick up this particular way of eating, or why did you go on this diet program? And to look at whether or not you become too involved, whether or not you invested too much time and effort into it. Oh no, what do my friends think if I quit now? Oh no, what do all my plant-based vegan friends think if I start eating meat? What do my keto friends think if I have a carb up? What do my fitness guys think if I go take a yoga class? What do my meditation friends think if I you know, go do some sort of crazy biohacks, whatever it is? Like, who cares? You have to try it out and experiment, evolve, and never become too stagnant. Don't become stagnant in your way of thinking, and always challenge everything. So that's my rant. I'm gonna quit this video before it gets out of hand.
Would you like to sample our vegan bacon?
If you know someone who has fallen victim to a diet cult or something like that, then share this video with them. But other than that, click the like, subscribe, notification bell as well. My name is Seam. Stay cultless, stay empowered.